Hi, I hope you are having an amazing day. Today I just wanted to chat about a few things that I do, actually 5 things that I do to look after myself and show some kindness to myself. It's something that I struggle with, and I have a tendency to burn out because I neglect this kind of thing. But lately I have been making a huge effort to put this sort of stuff into my everyday life, and I thought I'd share a few things that I actually do. Like, there's a lot of amazing self-care ideas, but these are the ones that I have been doing lately and I really enjoy doing them. Some of them don't take much time at all. Some of them do take a lot of time, but yeah, I just thought I would give you some ideas, particularly if you're someone like me that struggles to do things that aren't productive. Like, I really am trying to let go of my need to have everything feel productive, and that there is a lot of value in pure downtime and fun just for the sake of it. So yeah, I've written a little list of things that I do, so I hope you find it helpful, and I will just get into it by sharing the first one, which is, this is just cuticle oil. I bought this literally like 10 years ago. I was with one of my friends in the shopping center, mall, whatever, and they just have those weird kiosk things in the middle where they like talk to you and they try and make you buy things, and for whatever reason, like now I never go to them, but when I was like 16 I did. I did, and I bought this cuticle oil and I still have it because for years I was like, I don't know what to even do with this. But lately I have rediscovered it, particularly because I've been having issues with my nails where they're like really brittle and breaking and that kind of thing, which I believe was caused by getting a lot of shellac nail polish. Like, I get it like back to back for maybe like 6 months, and it just left them so weak because it like strips off the top layer of your nail. So every night I put cuticle oil on my cuticles, like around this bit, and I also do it to Steve because I was like, you should try this, and now so like I do his cuticles which is so funny. I love doing it, and I think he does it just for my sake, and I really appreciate that. And then I do mine. So this is one little thing, and then I love, especially because it's winter at the moment, just having nails that aren't really dry, because normally they get horrible in winter. So probably takes 2 minutes like to do me and Steve every night. So I just keep it next to my bedside and I do this before going to bed. So that is the first thing I have been enjoying doing. The second thing is reading fiction books. This is what I am reading at the moment, Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. And is that how you say her last name? Moyes. Kind of sounds like moist. Anyway, I am nearly finished. Like, it's getting like, I can tell it's going to be really sad. And everyone says this book's really sad. And I haven't seen the movie yet because the book's always better. So I wanted to read the book, and then straight away I've already got it lined up on Netflix that I am going to watch the movie. But kind of the problem with it being like a movie first is that when I've read the book, I have imagined these people, and if I hadn't seen this, do you know what I mean? Like, I like to imagine my own people, but because I have seen the trailer and stuff, I just have imagined these people. Anyway, reading fiction books has been so good because I have a tendency, as I was saying, to want to feel productive all the time, which means I read a lot of advice style books, like personal development books, as you probably know, and business books, and I love learning and I love improving myself, but there is a time and a place for a fiction book, and I have been finding that again. I have been reading almost every single time I'm on the train, and also like the other weekend Steve was like, do you want to come to our friend's place for a fire? And I was like, you know what, I just want to sit at home and read. And we have amazing fairy lights. I bought these really cheap fairy lights from Kmart or Target, and they're like just the wire with the little tiny bulbs on them, and they're so bright. So I turned them on, read in the dark. It was enough that I could read, like see the words, and had a cup of, I think it was like hot chocolate or something, and I read for 4 hours. Like I probably read a very good chunk of this book during that time, and it was so good to just do that, to not have my phone near me, and to really just get involved in a good love story. So that is one other thing that I have been doing as a way to work some downtime into my life, because when I sit on the train and I read self-help books and then like all the time, or I'm listening to podcasts, and there's no downtime for my brain, and it gets exhausting. So that is one thing I have enjoyed doing, and I highly recommend this. But I know I'm very late on the train, so you have probably already heard a lot about this book. The other thing I have written down is to wake up when my alarm goes off. And I know that probably sounds very simple and maybe not your typical self-care, but I find that by following through with a commitment that I have made to myself first thing in the morning, it just sets myself up for the best day. Sets me up for the best day. And when I do that, I just really, like, you know how it feels when your alarm goes off and you actually just get up. You really can have a lot of trust in yourself and more confidence that throughout the rest of the day you're going to follow your plans, and that's an amazing feeling. So number 3 is just waking up when my alarm goes off, not snoozing it, not being like, oh no, 5 more minutes, just getting up. I think it's one of the best acts of self-care that there is. Another thing I have written down is sharing my 3 good things with Steve. I've done a whole video about this because I am obsessed with doing it. I really think it has shaped my mindset and the way that I can see positives in so many situations. What we do, I'll link the video below, but we just share 3 good things and 1 thing we're grateful for, and they can be big or small. They can never be a jab. And sometimes we'll be like, that's a jab. If you say a good thing which is diminishing to someone else, it can't be that kind of thing. It has to be a purely good thing. And we also just say 1 thing we're grateful for. It's amazing if you're in a relationship, because often one of those 4 things we say will be about the other person, like I'm grateful for something that Steve did for me, or that we got to hang out. And it's just such an amazing way to show appreciation, because we often forget to do that, and we assume that they know that we do appreciate it and that we do love them. And just really going into detail and explaining why I appreciate something Steve did for me really just makes our relationship so amazing, to have that every single day where we're saying something we appreciate about each other. My hair, sorry, it's distracting me because I probably need to put a little bit more dry shampoo in it, or wash it. Maybe I should wash it. And the 5th good, no, not the 5th good thing, the 5th self-care thing that I do, and this is one that I am working on very, very hard at the moment, is essentially saying no to others so I can say yes to myself. I have a tendency to people please and to want to always, I never want to annoy anyone or be inconvenient or anything like that, and it's made me change a lot of my plans just on a day-to-day basis to fit in with other people's plans. And I really want to stop doing that and start honoring the commitments I've made and being willing to say no. And I have been practicing this in the last few weeks and getting so much better, and trying to say no without providing an apology or a detailed explanation. Just saying, sorry, I'm not available, has been so empowering. And yeah, it's something I'm really working on. I think this is also one of the biggest acts of self-care that we can do And if you relate to what I write about on my blog and on Instagram and Facebook and all of that, then you might also have a tendency to people please, which is really just a fear of judgment and criticism and disapproval and all of that. It's not selfish, and people pleasing, so it's not selfish to not people please, and people pleasing doesn't come from a place of love, it comes from a place of fear. And I really want to do things for other people out of love and not fear that they won't be happy with me or that they won't like me as much. So I'm working, like, I'm not trying to not do anything for anyone else, but when I am doing those things, it's because I genuinely want to, and out of a place of love rather than out of a place of fear that they won't like me if I say no to what they're asking. So that is something huge that I'm working on. It takes practice, and I have been practicing. Part of that is being clear on what you do want. So if you don't have a clear idea of what you want to do with your day or that kind of thing, then it is really easy to just end up people pleasing. But creating some really clear goals for what I want to achieve in a day, and then if people's suggestions and ideas don't fit in with my schedule, just saying would love to but I'm not available, we could do, and maybe that's even people pleasing, being like we could do this other time. But genuinely I do, like, if it's hanging out, I do want to see them and hang out, so I'll suggest my day that I have allocated for hanging out with people. And yeah, I should probably do a whole video on this topic alone, but it's been something I'm working really hard on, and I think it is so important. And I'm really seeing now that perfectionism really is, I guess, fear of judgment is probably the best of all the fears that it encompasses, like fear of failure. I can never say failure. Failing. I'll say failing. Fear of failing isn't really fear of failing. It's fear of the judgment that will follow if we fail. And so I think, yeah, I'm really coming to realize that perfectionism is fear of judgment, particularly disapproval. So yeah, people pleasing is a big part of that, and I'm working so hard, and I'm going to do a whole video about it because now that I'm doing this, I'm like, got a lot to say about it. So yeah, the 5 things that I try to do usually on a daily basis, cuticle oil, or like just some kind of, it could be doing my makeup nicely, doing my hair, like getting a nice outfit, just something that is like when I look at my hands, I'm like, oh, they're so nice and moisturized. Like, I really feel like I'm looking after myself, and I guess that's what I like this for. Fiction books such as this, waking up on my alarm, 3 good things every night, telling them to Steve. We do it like right before bed. I'll link the video below, but essentially we do it right before bed. We say, we have the normal how was your day chat, but I love it as well because in 3 good things, there always comes up other stories about, just the little things from that day that didn't make it into the how was your day answer. So I love it for that reason too. And then saying no to others so you can say yes to yourself. Like, that's something I am hugely working on, as I have just explained. So hope you find this video helpful. If you have, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.